move on, Keith, and we can talk about Leeds United. Now, what were your thoughts on the playoff final for them and the disappointment of missing out? Like we discussed, that most expensive football game in the world.
Wow, it was once again another heartbreaker. As I say, having lived through it, it brought back some terrible memories. So it was, I was hiding behind the couch watching it as well. For Leeds, they just didn't show up in terms of their front, striking force as far as I could see on the game. Hit the bar and close enough on a few things, but still didn't quite do enough. I thought Southampton also. While they were mainly a team that had gone forward most of the season, they defended like heroes. And so in the end, I think they deserved to go through. For Leeds, now, what does that mean? I mean, it's I saw the face of Angus Kinnear, the chief executive, after the final whistle, and I sympathise with him completely because I know what that means. You have to go back and you have to redo those budgets. You have to look at how things have stalled, and you then have to go right back to the drawing board and create, a strong championship team. It's difficult for Leeds right now.
I mean, it's no question a huge financial blow for the club. What will the next steps be, Keith, looking at sort of the window, probably the hope of going up, signing some big names? Where do they go from here? Is it trying to tie down stars to key contracts, or actually are they then expecting to potentially let stars leave?
I think they're going to have to let stars leave. From when I've looked at the numbers involved, the amount owed on the existing players in terms of installments on transfers is a big number. And so that alone is going to have to be taken care of in some way. Things like, Jack Harrison, who was on loan at Everton, I think he will end up staying at Everton rather than coming back to Leeds, strengthening the squad. I think there's going to be a lot of pruning at Leeds. Despite the parachute payment coming in, there's going to have to be some serious players, going. And some of those will be some of their stars, the Somervilles, the Nontos, etc. I think they're going to be the ones that will command a price and will have to go. And I think they won't be able to command a very, the highest price they would have hoped for either, because of, as I said, it's a buyer's market this time. And I think that may affect Leeds as well. So it's going to be difficult, but I think they've got enough depth to still put a very strong team into the Championship next year. They've got to somehow. But there's going to have to be some players released and some costs cut, certainly, in some way.
I mean, someone like Somerville, Keith, that you mentioned, what would his valuation be? Or another star that we've seen sort of rise to glory this season, Archie Gray. What would his valuation be? And how much will the club hope to get for him if they are to sell him this summer, or both either stars this summer?
Yeah, both difficult. As I say, in a slow window like this, perhaps not as high as some people might have thought, but they're both obviously of a great age. I think, the Nonto, Somerville, Gray sort of grouping, you're looking at the 30s to 40s millions, possibly, in that sort of area. I don't know if they'll achieve that, though. There's going to have to be a big structure of some sort of buyout, sell-on clauses and structured goals and on extra payments. But as I say, it's finding who the buyers are. There's no doubt they're good players, but there's not going to be a big market this summer, is my feeling so far. Normally, you see a big, in transfer windows gone by, you'll have seen one big transaction that will kick off a number of other things that will go on like a chain of houses in real estate. And I don't see that happening just yet. So we'll see where it goes. But Leeds, I think they're going to have to cut costs, but I don't think they're going to achieve the full value that some of those players are worth.
And how important is it, Keith, that the club get promoted for the 24-25 season? What will the conversations be at the board level with Daniel Farke looking at the next year? Will there be any concern that if they don't get promoted, then things will just get worse for them financially?
The pressure at that level is when you come back down, you've probably got 2 or 3 years of parachute payments. And when those stop, that's when the buck stops. And that's when your musical chairs, and you could get left without a chair. And then suddenly it's very difficult without that extra money. So they will be looking at the amount of parachute payments and making sure they get up. Now, obviously, the sooner you get back up, the better. And next season has got to be crucial for Leeds to try and do that. That's what Farke and that's what the whole club will be looking at. Leeds, are going to be set up, hopefully, in terms of the whole new stadium improvements at some stage to make it a really viable Premier League club. But getting out the Championship, as we know, is so hard. And Leeds are going to have to, do some very, very clever dancing around the squad costs to make a very competitive team go. Farke's got the experience, there's no doubt. I think they should stick with him. and give it a go. I think the squad seems to be able to do it. They just had a couple of lapses during the end of the season there that let them down. But that's how hard this race is. So we'll have to see what gets done in the off season. But I don't see them bringing much in. I think they're going to have to rebuild from within and what they've got.
I mean, Keith, one thing you to pick up that you mentioned in there about the 49ers, we know they want to expand Elland Road. We've discussed that before. Will those promotion woes delay that plan? Do you think that might be a project that they look at when they are promoted? Could it be something further down the line potentially they do?
Yeah, I think that file might have been on top of the desk, and I think it's been put back in the drawer until they see where they are, probably at January, February next year. They're going to probably reassess it then. I don't see the major investment being made in the stadium until they get a clearer picture. It's going to have to be a case of, the squad and promotion has got to be dominating their thoughts, and everything has got to be put on hold, I think, apart from that until that gets resolved. If there are small improvements that can be done to help with the fans, great. I mean, there are more games to be played in the Championship at Elland Road than there are in the Premiership. But I think the focus, don't take away any executive management time. They've got to be purely focused on getting that promotion.
And Keith, then setting up for next season then, do we expect them potentially, if they are to be looking in the summer transfer window, will they be looking at players in the Championship, free agents? Where do you think they'll try and buy if they are to lose some key stars? Will they reinvest that money into the squad?
I don't think so. I think they're going to try and remold the squad they've got. I don't see them taking many players in at all. I think they'll look at the youth, prospects coming through. They've got a decent blend of experience in there already. So I think that's going to be the key players they've got to have. The Championship demands experienced players, and you've got to have them. But you've got to have that blend of youth as well to have the legs to carry on through that long, long season that the Championship is. It's Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. It just carries on. It's relentless. And so I don't see them being big buyers in the market, but I do see them remolding from what they've got.